The Assembly yesterday also passed several bills to combat the revenue shortfalls. That's, a big problem for the state finances, and also scrutinize the corporate tax breaks. Some of it would force the governor to collaborate on revenue forecasts and plan for the shortfalls, and look for any new source of revenue over $1 million, and effectively prepare report cards on economic development. There was a news conference on that package of bills. If they get to the Senate, you have some feelings on some of them, I'm sure.
Well, I do. Let's take the one. I mean, Governor Christie has every single year strongly overestimated the income that will come into the state of New Jersey. You have a budget gap, and they say, well, we'll just say instead of getting $100 million from this program, we're going to get $150 million from the program. And there's been no basis in fact, and he's been challenged on that. And I know David Rosen, who is name probably not familiar to most of your listeners, but he is the chief economist for the Office of Legislative Services and a very competent prognosticator on this. He was referred to by the governor as his way of Dr. Gloom and so on and so forth. But he was right, more often than not, and much closer to accurate figures than the governor was. So I think the feeling is, you just can't plug the budget gap by making up numbers. And then toward the end of the year, you find, oh my God, the revenues are off. Now this year the revenues have been a little stronger. We're starting very slowly to see a catch up really with the rest of our region in terms of the recovery, because we have lagged behind our surrounding states. But that principle of not just making up numbers, I think is important. The other thing is that we do give a lot of grants and a lot of benefits to companies that come in or companies that want to expand, but there's no, you refer to it as a report card, there's no report card on that. Are, in fact, the programs that we extend grants to and tax credits and so on and so forth, are they creating the jobs that they promise, or do they just go their merry way and here's the tax credit that they have and the jobs aren't there? So I think some accountability and more transparency would be helpful to that process, and maybe make sure that these things, and there's always allegations that, these things are done on the basis of political favors and so on and so forth. I think that if you're going to have to stand up after the program has been implemented and give a report, maybe a little more scrutiny will be given on the front end. So I would certainly be inclined to support those bills.